honestly, all the Golden Sun attention recently. It's pretty great. In general, I mean, I remember there was a time when I was like the only one I knew that like knew about Golden Sun, and then like it was around the time that Smash Ultimate was coming out. Like everyone was on that hype train, man, and it was so great. And even though it, like, you know, people talk about it like slightly less than during that Smash hype phase, man, it still was great. And I feel like also during that time as well, it was a period of time, I won't say any names, but there was a period of time in the Golden Sun community where like I feel like it felt really toxic to me back in the day. Some of it had to do with like a specific person that really rubbed me the wrong way. It just was very restrictive on, you know, how they let people be. I probably should stop right there. My point is, the community in general is actually very friendly now, and they're always like finding like new things to do and like memes and everything. There's a stupid Golden Sun crap post page on like Twitter, which is pretty funny. I like the profile picture because it's just like Isaac, but like, you know, that like big brain meme. So it's great. Anyway, although I've been a lot less active in the Golden Sun community than I used to be, but like I kind of watch it from a distance. But like I definitely used to talk a little bit more. What was it? Isaac Venus Adept, that guy. Shout out to him. Not for doing anything particular, but he's just like a really chill guy. I remember when I was making my like game or whatever, he tried to shout me out and said like, "Oh, this guy's making like a spiritual success or whatever." I was like nowhere near done with the game, but you know, he was plugging me anyway. He's a cool guy. Eilish being smacked. I was okay with. You see, I was one of the few people that was actually okay with Byleth, but like I totally knew there was going to be backlash regardless of what I thought of it. I mean, like, I guess some of it is also like I'm a big Fire Emblem fan. I would say like I enjoy Smash Bros, but a lot of the individual series that you'll see me like freak out over, I'm a way bigger fan of those than I am of Smash Bros. I'm a bigger fan of Golden Sun, and I'm a bigger fan of Fire Emblem than I am Smash Bros. So, like, any Fire Emblem representation, you probably get a reaction out of me, and I'd probably be okay with it. But, I kind of knew it was going to happen. I mean, a bunch of people were, like, in denial about it. Like, I just kind of knew. Like, Smash Bros. Has just had a track record of like, if there's a new Fire Emblem game coming out, they're gonna promote it. Like, whether you like it or not, it's been a thing about as long as Fire Emblem has been in Smash. Like, Roy was a walking advert. Ike was... I feel like Ike was kind of like less in your face about it because the Tellius games did really badly, but he was in there because those were the relevant games at the time. So like, I don't see how this is like... I don't know. I mean, I guess like I understand people not wanting it, but I just saw it coming personally. People were wanting like the, you know, the 3 lords, you know, but I just thought that wasn't realistic, and mostly for like one reason really. This puzzle, God. Oh, that was close. Okay. Excuse me for a moment while I focus in on this puzzle. Whew. That's close. Oh, I might have totally forgotten to do something first. Okay, I think it'll be fine though. No, no, no! I'm a pro gamer. I know. Oh my god. Snivy. Anyway, but yeah, no, that's fair. To be honest, like, regardless of what you think about the characters' inclusions, I feel like the Smash community in general has been particularly toxic about Fire Emblem. Like, and sword users in general, well, like, okay, a lot of this stems from the fact, in my opinion, and people complain about it anyway, but, like, I want to talk about swords in general for a moment here, because, and it's not really even Fire Emblem's fault exclusively for this, but, like, swords are, like, the most popular weapon ever, and for very good reason. I'm really talking about this. Swords are very versatile weapons. You can use them in one hand, you can use them with two hands. You could do long swords, you could do short swords. There's a million different fighting styles you can do with a sword. Which is something you actually cannot say for a lot of different weapons. Swords in general are just really good. So that's why media loves swords. And a bunch of like big historic figures you're gonna see in like paintings and everything, they use swords. Big popular characters in media also tend to use swords. That's just the way it is. Now, Fire Emblem, for whatever reason, it's kind of like an inside trope. You know, your main character, you use a sword. They've broken that tradition, I think a total of one time, well, like 2 times, off the top of my head. Well, no, 3 times, a few times. There's Micaiah, Hector, and Ephraim. And most of them look cool, right? Ephraim, right. So those are a few. But here's the other thing about that. None of them are, like, really popular Fire Emblem characters. And the reason they're popular has nothing to do with their weapon choice or how cool they look using a weapon. It completely has to do with the game they're in, how popular the game is, and how liked the character is. Now, Ephraim has some points, Hector has some points. I'll definitely say that. Within the Fire Emblem community, Hector is very, very popular. But, like, if we're talking about iconography, yeah, I messed up. If we're talking about iconography, like things that would draw people to get the character, especially if you're going to sell them as DLC, you have to have a character that has an established fan base that people are willing to spend money on. Although people have bought Piranha Plant, but like, you're not going to release Chibi Robo's best friend without like Chibi Robo, you know? You're going to sell Chibi Robo or whatever. Okay, that's probably a bad example. I haven't played Chibi Robo. I don't know what characters in Chibi Robo. But my point is, you're not gonna like throw in like some random character. You're gonna throw in the ones that like general people are gonna know about, and those characters are gonna tend to use swords. That's just the way it is. So if it's someone who's complaining about someone that's like a sword character, it's like, I don't know what to tell you. Smash Bros is like, they have to sell this as a product. Now, if it was a character in the base game, that'd be a little bit of a different story. But I still think it'd be unlikely because they're also using these characters to advertise the game, right? Like, legitimately, there's a lot of people that. Yeah. Right. But, like, legitimately, there's going to be a whole lot of people that are going to be like, okay, well, I'm going to get this game, and... Okay, so, for example, let's say Golden Sun fans. If you put Isaac in Smash Bros., regardless of whether or not how much they like Smash Bros., Golden Sun fans are going to eat that up. Just purely on, like, the hype alone and just how many people are going to love it. And that's going to be true of, like, almost every single franchise you include into Smash Bros. I think that's just the way it is. If someone says otherwise, like, I don't know what to tell you, but that's just the way it operates, and it makes sense. It's a product, you gotta sell it to people. So yeah, that's a thing with that. As for yeah, so that's kind of a thing about that. But with Fire Emblem in particular, I do understand the complaint with that one though, because there's like so many Fire Emblem characters. But I feel like a lot of it also comes with this like weird stigmata. I feel like it's a case of everyone hates on it because it's the thing to hate on. And what do I mean by that? I mean, like, so Mario is a well-loved property. No one's gonna complain about like Mario. With Fire Emblem, it's like this. I feel like people treat it like it's this anime, like, oh, it's anime, and a bunch of the characters do look somewhat samey, sure, but like, and some of them do play exactly the same, sure. But I mean, some of that is also exactly one-to-one true of Mario. Luigi initially was just a Mario clone, and now he has like some different movesets, sure, but like he's about as different from Mario in my opinion as Roy is now. I mean, and again, like you can make a bunch of complaints about that and all that, but and Ike, even though he uses a sword, he fights completely different than Marth. If you're talking about like, so Chrom, of course, he's an Echo. Echoes have been introduced, so that also is kind of like another thing about this, sure. But anyway, but again, I feel like, I'll be real with you, I think people just hate on it because it's like an anime character design and because it's cool to do it. I don't think there's really much logic behind it, and it kind of drives me crazy. That's why I just like, you'd think there'd be more logic behind it, but there really isn't. But yeah, anyway, so that's kind of like my take on this whole Smash Bros. Thing. And don't get me wrong, like, I used to love playing Smash Bros. Not so much like these days. But like back when Smash 4 was out, like, oh man, that was my crud. I played it, honestly, too much. I think Snivy hates playing it now because he played it against me too many times. But I used to really love Smash. And it's not that it's bad, it's just kind of like, I got tired of it. But I mean, it's like a good game. And I mean, for the most part, it's just kind of like the community sometimes is kind of a thing. In general, like, I just don't like talking Fire Emblem with them, though. I think a lot of them just don't care about the franchise, and they're just predisposed to hate it regardless of whatever new character gets announced. And I think a lot of them are also just straight up in denial of how actually popular Fire Emblem is right now. Like, it's not like on the level of Mario and Zelda, but like, it's climbing.